Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I'm excited to be bringing you my 5th game from Division 2 Season 4 of the Pokemon Premier League. Yes indeed. Now, today, as you probably know, we are facing off against my very good friend AmazingChi. His links down in the description below, make sure you go and check them out. Also down there, you will find a link to my team building analysis video, so if you want to know my full in-depth analysis of the team, my thought process going into this game, what I brought, the sets, the moves, everything you need to know is in that video, so make sure you go and check that out as well. But to very briefly go over it, we have got a fast, bulky, toxic stall Zapdos, a scarfed Terrakion, physically defensive Wackenberry support Vaporeon. We've got a very bulky, of course, Mandibuzz, very much supportive, only has U-turn for offense. We've got that weird dual screens bulky Mamo, and a nasty plot LifeWurmple Salazzle. Now, on my opponent's team, AmazingChi has brought Electros, Delmize, Skarmory, Florges, Crocodile, and Tentacruel. A lot of what I expected. The big thing here, no Kyurem Black. I was very excited to see no Kyurem Black. That made me happy, because I didn't want to face it, but I have massively focused a lot of my prep on it, so hopefully that won't come back to bite us. But either way, we're not going to mess around here. Without any further ado, let's get right into the battle and see exactly how things played out. So, here we go. Chi, he's going to make his challenge towards me. Let's turn this up there. He's going to lead off with his Electros. I predicted that lead. My best lead every single time was going to be Zapdos. So that's fine. I'm pretty sure I can outspeed this guy. And I'm going to basically turn one, set up a sub, and try and scout his set out a little bit. So first off, I'm going to go for the substitute. As I say, just scouting him out. He's actually going to go for Super Fang, and turn one he's going to miss. Nice for me because it gives me a free sub. And my suspicions that he's AV. It's a move you normally see on an AV set. So here, I'm just able to fire off a free Toxic and try and start wearing this guy down. And again, he's going to have to go for his best move to break my sub, whether it be Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice, or Wild Charge, something like that. And as you'll see, he's going to go for the Thunderbolt, and that is indeed going to break my sub. So that's fine, absolutely fine by me. Ibra is doing what I wanted it to be honest. It's just sitting here, even early game, it's looking to be an annoyance to Chi's team, and hopefully we can maintain that. He's going to take a little bit of toxic damage, and that's fine. I'm fairly certain he's going to want to get out of there at this point, so I am just going to set up another sub just to see. He's not going to hard switch. As you'll see here, he's packing the U-turn, and this is definitely making me think he's almost certainly AV. His last move probably going to be Giga Drain, maybe Drain Punch. So he's going to U-turn out of there and go into Chloris. That's going to be, as you see, his Florges. Now, I'm privately hoping that this thing doesn't have the Heal Bell or the Aromatherapy, whichever one it gets. And I am just going to drop a Toxic to scout out and see. So here it is. There's the Toxic. Going to land it onto the Florges. Just really hoping that he doesn't have Heal Bell, because then Zapdos won't take it on 1v1. He's going to go for the Moonblast. And as you see, as it lands, that is in fact going to be enough to break the sub. It is a crit. Actually, that crit doesn't matter on breaking the sub. It would have done anyway, despite my little investment in special defense and my max HP. So, he's getting his toxic damage on him, and I think at this point I'm just free to set up yet another sub and keep scouting his sets. This is another thing that Zapdos can do very nicely. So, there's the sub, and as you see here, he does have the Heal Bell. So I'm like, okay, Zapdos doesn't beat this 1v1, because he's almost bound to have Wish on there. And I'm very much suspecting his final move to be Hidden Power Ground at this point for the Salazzle, which is a threat to his team. I thought he might bring like a Calm Mindset with those two moves and maybe Wish, so I was probably hoping there'd be no Heal Bell. Either way here, I am just going to go for a Roost. I need to keep Zapdos at as much health as possible, just to make sure I can take on the majority of his team. So with that Roost, I'm going to get right the hell on back up to full, and he's going to go for a Moonblast. And that, as you see, it doesn't matter about the crit on the previous one because it's going to break my sub anyway. So, he's basically back up to full. In fact, he is back up to full. I'm just going to go for Thunderbolt. I want to try and gauge if he's fizzles for death. It's difficult to tell really with that little damage. Either way, his Moonblast is going to come in, and it's going to do significantly more to me than I can do to him. So again, this isn't a matchup I'm going to be winning anytime soon, or, you know, ever. Lots of after turn effects going on here. I'm getting my leftovers, he's getting his leftovers, but I have to switch out I have no reason to stay in here, so I'm going to get on out there with Zapdos, go into my bulky Mamoswine and look to try and set up some screens right about now, as he's going to go for a wish, and I'm like, curses. That's unfortunate. So, I am just going to act here as he gets leftovers like he's going to stay in and try and keep that wish for himself. So he's going to withdraw his Chloris, and he's actually going to go into the Skarmory. Very safe switch for him indeed. I am just going to throw up the light screen, which I'm hoping kind of threw him off a little bit. You don't expect to see screens Mamo. But either way, I can't touch this Skarmory. I couldn't even if I was offensive probably. So I'm going to go right the hell on back into Ibra because he has no reason not to set up rocks at this point. And as you'll see, that's exactly what he's going to opt to do. This is fine. I can defog them away with Mandibuzz on quite a lot of his team actually. So I'm okay with that little trade-off. So I'm going to get my leftovers. I know he has no reason to stay in. But I'm thinking he's not going to go into the Crook just now. He's going to make the middle ground play, and he absolutely does by going into his Dhelmise. So I just went for the Thunderbolt, just attack what's in front of you in case he does opt to stay in. And this does nothing. Very much thinking that this is Assault Vest. Dhelmise. And I'm thinking I can just get a Toxic, I can live any hit, and I kind of space for a little bit. I go for Toxic, I do miss the Toxic, which is unfortunate. He has Rock Slide, I spaced on it having Rock Slide, I forgot it gets it. And that doesn't kill, but it takes me down very far. This is very much a bulky offensive, probably AV Dhelmise. And here, in the back of my mind, I was like, he could Earthquake, but I need to Roost. I just went with my gut. I was like, I need to Roost. He could Earthquake, but he doesn't necessarily want to get Toxic. I go for the Roost, and he nails me with the Earthquake. And as you'll see there, that is going to take out my Zapdos. And this made me very depressed, because Zapdos was a great matchup, and I wasn't happy. Either way, I am just going to go into my Oxide here, my Salazzle, and just threaten him out. Like, the switch into Tentacruel is fairly obvious, but I want to damage this thing in case he just stays in and goes for the Earthquake. As it is, as you'll see, he's going to go into Bernie. That is the Tentacruel. We are going to nail this Fire Blast, and the damage it does to a Tentacruel is not bad. It's not fantastic, but it's not bad. And as you'll see here, he is Black Sludge, not Assault Vest, but I'm thinking he's got some special bulk in there anyway. Now, I don't want to stay in here. I don't want to take a Scald. I am just going to go into Blue Mountain. That's the Mandibuzz looking to try and defog. So I've got an itchy neck. But he makes a very nice read. He's going to go for Toxic, knowing I'll switch out. I don't have Heal Bell, so the Toxic is there to stay. And unfortunately, that's going to really limit Blue Mountain the Mandibuzz here. And the Tentacruel's back up to nearly full. So we're very much on the back foot in this game. It's not looking great, but I am just going to defog here. I really don't have a reason not to. Like, he can't kill me in the slightest. He could get a very nice switch into maybe the Electros. And as you'll see, he is going to switch out and do exactly that. He is going to go into that Electros as I just get off the defog. Which is good. No more rocks until his Skarmory comes in, unfortunately. I'm going to get some leftovers back, but that toxic damage is going to start racking up quite quickly. And there's really nothing I can do to this guy. What I should have done here was go for the U-turn, because I'm pretty sure I outspeed it. In fact, I definitely do almost, but I don't go for the U-turn. I just hard switch out into my Mamoswine, hoping that he's going to go for Thunderbolt. He just goes for the Super Fang, and that takes me down to 109. But I know that I can live a Giga Drain or indeed a Flash Cannon if that's what he has. I go for the Icicle Crash. That's going to do a lot of damage. It's looking to hit KO. He goes for Flash Cannon. The max roll is 104 on this, if he's Assault Vest. And this is when I realise he is Expert Belt. I'm not a fan of it, but either way, I'm just going to go into Oxide. It is the thing that threatens his team the most. I didn't want to afford him a free switch into the Skarmory to get his rocks back up if I wanted to Tarak. So in comes the Tentacruel once again, and again I don't make the play of going for Toxic. I just go for the Fire Blast. If nothing else, we're wearing down the Tentacruel a bit, but every time the Tentacruel's in, I do have to switch Salazzle out. I'm running out of things to switch in. It's 6-4, it's not good. So at this point, I'm going to go into Neville. My Vaporeon going to hit the field for the first time, and she does it again. He Toxics again, knowing I'm switching out because that's my win con. So I'm being played like the proverbial fiddle right about now. My two walls are toxic, two of my other things are gone. I only really have my offense left that can do any work. So it's not going well at all, and I'm not making any of the plays I need to. But at this point, I'm going to start. I'm basically on tilt right now. And in comes the Celeste, and I am going to actually make the double right about now and go into Oxide. So I've finally got the drop on him a little bit, and now we've got this matchup. And I was thinking, this time, surely he's not going into Tentacruel. Surely he's not going into Tentacruel. My video is freezing as I watch it back. He does. He goes into the Tentacruel. I could not believe it. And I don't get the Toxic on it yet again. Again, we've worn it down a fair bit, but I just couldn't believe he'd go into it a third time. It was so annoying. My read hasn't worked, and at this point, again, I am going to switch on out of there. I can't stay in. I'm going to go into Neville once more. This time, Chi is going to make the obvious play and just go for the Scald. He doesn't really lose anything by doing this, to be honest. So he's going to get some nice juicy health back with his Tentacruel as I, take that toxic damage. But, Neville's looking in a good position at the moment. And at this point, I'm actually going to predict him to go for the Scald again. And I'm just going to try and throw up a Wish, I think, at this point. Which is exactly what I do. He just, he'd seen him at a double last time. And I need to start making big plays. So it's fair that he'd go for the Scald again. He doesn't really lose anything by doing it because I can't touch him with my Vaporeon. I'm not packing Synchronize. That would have been nicer. Just saw that now, actually. Either way, he's going to make the play here and go into Tok. This time, I guess, predicting my switch out, but I'm going to stay in. He gets the Intimidate. I'm going to stay in because I just wanted to burn on the Tentacruel. Because I thought I was quite close to winning with Salazzle, even at this bad position. So I get the Tok down to a very low amount of health. I get my Wish back, but once again, that Toxic is starting to rack up, but at least I'm starting to get damage on things if I'm desperate for a positive. Right now, he's going to withdraw Tok. He's going to go into Chloris. Once again, that is the Florges. But I'm going to make a switch of my own, and once again, I'm going to go into Oxide. I'm just basically on massive tilt right now. I'm just making as ballsy plays as possible, and they do seem to be working out in the fact that I'm getting my threats in the form of Chloris here. Oxide. And here, I scout for the Hidden Power Ground. I'm suspecting he has it. It's the last move he hasn't revealed. I go back into Vaporeon. He goes for the Hidden Power Ground. He knows I can't take him out with an unboosted Sludge Wave at this point. So I managed to scout out the Chloris fully, confirming what I already suspected. Neville, once again, is really taking damage at a rate of knots right about now, and it's not something I can really deal with. Now, on Chi's side, his Florges is going to throw up the Wish. I'm going to do exactly the same. And the temptation here would be to pass into my Salazzle. But in my mind, he could just go for Hidden Power Ground. He doesn't really lose anything by it. He's got a Wish of his own and I can't do anything to him. He's actually going to go into Elton here. I go for the Scald. Can we take out the Elton? It's not AV. We don't quite get the KO. We get the burn, which I'd rather prefer to have on the Tentacruel. But he gets his Wish back and he's back at half health. Exactly where we started. I get my Wish. But really, it's not looking good. And at this point, I do make a rather silly play. I completely forget about my own Wackenberry. I know the Thunderbolt's coming because I don't have a switch in, and I sack off Blue Mountain, my Mandibuzz. I had a Wackenberry. I probably would have taken that Thunderbolt and got him down quite low. We know he doesn't have recovery, and that was a silly play. I really oughtn't have done that. But either way, it's now 6-3. I'm not bringing in Terrakion until I have to. I'm not letting that Skarmory come in, basically. Now he is going to withdraw, and for the 4th time, he's going to go into Bernie. Now at this point, I just went bugger it and went for Nasty Plot. I kind of thought he was at lower health. I genuinely did. I thought he was lower, because if he was just a little bit lower, then Fire Blast had a really good chance to take him out, and I was really wishing I had Hidden Power Ground now, and I hadn't allowed myself to be sort of talked into running Toxic. I go for Fire Blast. It again comes close. We again get the burn on a close KO. It's not going to matter though, because as you'll see, he's just going to go for the Scald. He's just going to go for it. That's going to take out Salazzle, and down it goes. It's 6-2. I'm having flashbacks to the last game if I'd have been in Carson's shoes. It's going horribly wrong really quickly, and I don't see a way back into it. I don't even see a way to avoid a 6-0. I'm going to go into Barrett here, the Terrakion at last, and I am just going to go for the Earthquake, attack what's in front of you. Chi luckily decides not to try and preserve the 6-0 by going into Scarm. He basically didn't want to give me the opportunity to set up if I was set up. It might have saved me differential if I was set up, but I wouldn't have won from this point because, as you'll see, he's just going to go into Celeste. My only chance here is to switch into Vaporeon, sack it, because he's going to go for Power Whip. He has no reason not to, and there it is. That's going to kill Vaporeon, even though I'm Fizz Death. The only chance I have is to go into Terrakion, and he has to miss a Power Whip, and I have to either crit or hit 2 Stone Edges and just keep hitting Stone Edge. So basically, he just has to miss his Power Whip, and just to add insult to injury, we miss our Stone Edge. He's going to go for Power Whip. That is going to take out Terrakion. Down goes Terrak, and that is going to be the game. Yeah, that went badly, didn't it? I say this every season because it happens every season unless you're mono in D2 Season 1. Everyone has their off games. Now, as far as my losses go, 2 have been to hacks, 1 has been to a better player, very much a better player, in the form of Kyle. And this one I'm going to put down to an off game. No disrespect to Chi, absolutely, I realise that kind of came out wrong. No disrespect to Chi in the slightest. He played a phenomenal game. He was making excellent plays. Most of them actually were fairly safe, but he could afford to do them. And he got the jump on me quite early, getting rid of one of my big win cons. So, full respect to Chi, he played a fantastic game. I played a horrible game. I thought my prep was good, apart from the fact that I over-prepped for a Kyurem Black that didn't show up, and I very much underestimated Delmire, I'll hold my hands up to that one. This one did not go well, and to be honest, I don't even want to talk about it, really. The hard work of last week has basically gone to hell. We're 1-4 at a very bad differential, and basically it's not looking particularly good. But Parasect Germain do not give in. We are 1-4, but there is still light at the end of the tunnel. It's very faint, but there is just about light, and maybe I'm sort of digging here and, you know, scraping the barrel, scratching around for some kind of hope. But Travesty, he got himself promoted from Division 2 with a 7-4 differential, and he went on to win the next season of D1. We are 1-4. It could happen. It probably won't, but it could. So, yeah, full respect to Chi. Well played, mate. His links, as I say, down in the description below. Make sure you check them out. See his side of the battle and all his other fantastic content. All the collaborative stuff we've done together. Make sure you check all that stuff out as well. Next week is actually going to be a break week. We're taking a mid-season break next week, just for people to get themselves organised and have just a little bit of a rest. Week after that, week after that is Grudge Match Central. We are facing off against another one of my very good friends, Ellie, and Accrington Stantler. Last time we faced her, she was the Teddington Teddy Ursas, and HP Electric Heat Trap. Oh, I still get flashbacks. But yes, that is pretty much going to be it from this video. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. I hope you still can keep giving Parasect Germain your support. I'm sure at some point in the not too distant future there will be a video going up explaining why we're losing, or, you know, more to the point, why we're not winning. There's a difference, and all will be revealed at some point in the not too distant future. But as I say, I'm going to get out of here. My final thank you to you all for watching, and I guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.